My name is Adam Kay from One World Radio, and you're watching EDM Sphere. My name is Adam Kay. You will find me on Tomorrowland's One World Radio. It's a radio station broadcast on Tomorrowland.com and around the world on the Tomorrowland app. And you'll also maybe have heard me doing something that I love. It's called #HeavyBeats, and that's my own podcast. So yeah, it depends on where you're coming at me from, but it's all revolving around electronic dance music. You know what? It was meant to just be a one-off thing to celebrate being 15, like you said, and it turned into something that is obviously still on air now. So for me, it's been an absolute honor to be there since the start. I've been involved with Tomorrowland for many a year, and to be asked to build this station that now exists, well, it was an honor. So yeah, I've been in the radio industry for over 20 years. So I've worked in the UK for the BBC, Global, Bauer, and I worked alongside Amsterdam Dance Event. And having worked alongside Tomorrowland in the past as well, it kind of just made sense to kind of get involved with this. And who knows where this goes? It could be massive. It could be the world's biggest radio station because of the potential of Tomorrowland, right? Now, whilst around the world there are many other radio stations, I don't think there's many with the reach and exposure of Tomorrowland. I mean, you look at its YouTube channel with like 9 million plus followers and its Instagram accounts and things like this. So there's a massive social reach. I'm not sure how many people have listened to the radio station that are following us on Instagram or following us on YouTube. But what I can guarantee is that that number is growing. And this isn't meant to sound big-headed, but it's easier to tell you the people I've not interviewed. And for that reason, they need to be on my list of people to interview. Now, one of those is Green Velvet. I've been a massive fan of Green Velvet since I got into music, like right back from, I did go to see him once at Amsterdam Dance Event. There was an event, I think it was at Media, but he didn't show up. So my intention was there, but still to this day, in all of my dance music history, I've still never seen Green Velvet DJ, nor have I interviewed him. So Curtis, let's make this happen, all right? Hang on, this is just a massive question, right? There's three. One is all right, three though. But my first Tomorrowland memory was being backstage. It wasn't being in the crowds. It was being behind the scenes and having my mind blown. And the signs behind Tomorrowland's main stages and things like that, there's keep the secret a secret. You know what I mean? Keep the magic alive. And I remember that. So I've always kind of been tight-lipped about what I share. But it blew my mind, the intensity and the attention to detail about the festival compared to anything I'd seen in the UK. It was a mind blow. So that'd be memory one. I can't put a time and a date on that, but that's memory one. Memory two, Armin announcing that he's just arrived from hospital. That memory, everyone knows that. Hey everyone, I've just arrived from the hospital where my wife just gave birth to a baby. And everyone's like, woo, and then the rain comes down and it's like, whoa, even now, you know what I mean? That memory is kind of incredible.
Good evening, Tomorrowland. How you guys doing? I just want to make a very special announcement. I just came straight from the hospital and I want the world to welcome my wife just gave birth to a son.
And I'm going to say the people of tomorrow is the third memory because that's the non-changeable thing of every Tomorrowland. Like the themes come and go, but the people always remain. And it's that worldwide culture clash that happens, whether it be in Boom in Belgium or in Amsterdam at Our Story, for example, or in Tomorrow World, which is in Brazil. It's wherever it goes, the people stay the same, but the venue and the themes are changeable. So it's the people of tomorrow. That is my third memory of Tomorrowland. I've been making radio for ages, and I've been DJing for ages. And whenever I go, because like most people watching this have got more than one favorite musical genre, right? So if you throw the genres out, what are you left with? And it's sounds. So heavy beats for me, I've done things in the past and brands and stuff, but heavy beats was born out of, I love techno and I love bass music, but there's no hybrid of bass and techno. Whilst some people may say there is, not for me. Adam Beyer, for example, doesn't play Jaws music, right? So that kind of sound clash never happens. It does in my world. So therefore it's kind of unique. And creativity is taking two things that don't exist and making it into something that does. So that's where hashtag heavy beats come in. I moved it into a hashtag because if I ever got on a festival lineup, I'd be first, because if it was in alphabetical order, hashtag's always at the top. And if you look in the podcast streams, hashtag heavy beats is always at the top of your feeds because it's got a hashtag at the top. So yeah, think about that when you're thinking about your DJ names. Hashtag heavy beats is my DJ name. Heavy beats is my brand. And it's a smash up of techno and bass house, and I love it. It's a real passion point for me. I've done it forever. I've just given it a name. We actually, as soon as kind of the world realized what Corona was, and then we all adjusted and adapted, we did something called United Through Music, which was us doing this into DJs' homes. So we visited Vintage Culture in Sao Paulo. We visited Netsky in Antwerp. We visited Lost Frequencies and Dimitri Vegas in their homes. That was a great little platform to test out how this would work. And then many people were doing it. It was like, close your eyes and just feel how this works, right? Because no one really knows the answer. And then as more broadcast happened, you saw more plants, especially if you're watching Netsky. And and everybody started to up their game, and the green screens came out, didn't they? And everybody was like getting microphones. And then everybody was just getting a little bit more tech savvy, which was great because we've all upped our game and we're all a little bit more aware of what we can do and what we shouldn't do and what we can't, those things with like collaborations like this. So from a Tomorrowland perspective, the water was tested and it was good. We dipped more than a toe in. We actually put both feet in. And then came Tomorrowland Around the World, the Digital Festival, which was an absolute mind bend. Trust me, the amount of detail that went into that, the people, the speed of which that happened. Honestly, I mean, like I said, there's stickers behind stage saying, keep the magic alive. I can't tell you exactly, although you can watch the after movie on YouTube, which kind of reveals a little bit. But these huge, what was crazy was to go to Belgium, go to Boom, where we usually do the festival, and just record in the same area, but without the stages and without the people. So it felt kind of normal, but it wasn't. And obviously, when you're DJing and presenting, you don't see the whole picture. You see a little render, and you have an idea of how it's going to be. But then to see the final results, and to see the engagement from the DJs, because it's often like a lot of sports players, right? There's all of our favorite teams are playing in empty stadiums and they're saying it's weird. And you've got all the commentary teams saying, yeah, this is weird. And then it's exactly the same for the DJs that went to Tomorrowland Around the World, because they were in the arena, they were in Boom in Belgium, doing what they usually do, but with no audience. So it's exactly the same. And for the DJs doing it, it must have been super weird on that scale for the first time. But kudos to them, they pulled it off. The people behind the scenes at Tomorrowland, no surprise there that they pulled it off, but it's just incredible to see what they did on the scale they did. But here's a little behind the scenes secret. when we recorded the preview interviews for Tomorrowland Around the World, the name had only just been decided. So imagine me for the first time turning up and being given this place called Papillonium and getting the pronunciation correct in the interviews and you're interviewing all the DJs before they've DJ'd almost, or sometimes afterwards, and they don't know where they are because they don't really know what I know because they're not privy to all the information yet. It's so far in advance. So in that respect, it was a mind blow trying to remember Papillonium, remember that we haven't broadcast yet. I've seen the DJ set, but no one else has. So I'm there talking like it's like everyone's seen it and they haven't. So again, everybody's adjusting, everyone's adapting, and it was just an amazing event. And I think looking forward to New Year's Eve, learning what they've learned from obviously Tomorrowland Around the World, the digital festival. I can't wait for New Year's Eve because I don't know if you've already seen the stages, the 4 stages. I mean, now, but this at New Year's Eve, the biggest stage is going to be the atmosphere stage. So that looks incredible. But I think this New Year's Eve, I keep changing my mind every week. I like the look of the Pulse. Have you seen the Hard House, like where Brennan Hart's going to be? That stage looks amazing. Did you see the wall from Tomorrowland Around the World? That was like insane. Imagine that being real life. Imagine being there. I'll be like, whoa, this is insane. I hope that in somewhere in the future, I hope that comes alive because it will be an absolute mind blow. I'd love to play there. I'd love to see it live. It'd be amazing. The crazy thing is as well, here's some intel that maybe I'm probably not meant to share, but some of those stages, because when the event happened, those stage designs were based on real set designs. So somewhere in the world, in a storage unit somewhere, are parts of those stages in real life. So those digital stages, parts of those are real and they exist now and they're waiting to be shown somewhere in the future. Can you believe that? Do you know what? Hand on heart, truthfully, I don't think anyone knows because of the way the speed of the world we live in right now is changing. It really does change from one region to another. Whilst my heart says yes, my head says reluctantly, potentially. There's no certainty in life anymore, it seems. I think we're all wise enough to know that, right? Whilst, tickets could go on sale, they could quite easily get pulled off sale. And nobody wants that kind of messing around. So, again, it's totally above my pay grade. I have no say or knowledge about whether it does or it doesn't, or whether, how many years in the future we have to, wait. But we are all aware of the world that we live in, the scenarios that we have to deal with. So all I would say is let's keep our fingers crossed because we all want it and will it. And the way that things are going, it looks very favorable that potentially we will unite. And that is essentially what we all want.